Good afternoon, sports fans. It's Jim for the 3 Minute AD today. And now that the seasons are ending and we're running into the playoffs, might be a good time to talk about your um, fan behavior policy for next year. Um, Recently, the floodgates have opened. If you guys know the story about Halliburton, the Indiana Pacer basketball player's father went on the court, accosted some people, and was subsequently banned. We thought for basically ever based on his actions. And it seems that the Indiana Pacers decided to allow him back to the home games and let him sit in a suite. Um, I'm not so sure we would do the same thing with one of our parents, but recently, Arkansas school district came up with a three strike policy. Um, Section 8 and Section 11 have policies. I'm sure other sections have their policies too about fan behavior. But, the only way to mitigate the problems here is to have constant, continued education. And I know when in my years as an AD, you actually waited for something to happen. And a lot of times I might have known that we had a bad parent, but because of a connection to a board member or some other thing, some other fear factor there, we were afraid to say something. Um, why isn't this the case? If we see a strange bag on the corner, see something, say something. If we know there's a parent going to be a problem for us, why aren't we doing anything about it? And we try to sometimes with education and not necessarily name that parent outright, but this is a really good time to look at your behavior policies within your districts and have open discussions with the superintendent and with the Board of Education on how we're going to handle future events, because you know as well as I do, they're going to continue to happen. Look at hazing, for example. We have 25 years in the business, 27 years in the business for me. And I remember back in early 2000 when we were all on hazing and everybody got a policy and everybody knew what the law was. Well, it seems that those things have gone away and hazing incidents are still happening. We must get back to being educators and being in the education business and continuing to hammer it home time and time again, no matter what we do or what we say, include these important aspects of our jobs into it. Anti-hazing, proper fan behavior, ethical standards. I know there's something going on right now with a baseball coach upstate who threw a game, allegedly threw a game. The athletes were complicit because they were following the directions of the coach, it seems. But again, I don't want to pass judgment on it. I want to make it sure that if we're going to have these discussions, that we get ahead of these things. What's right and what's wrong. Ultimately they're going to blame the adults. It doesn't matter. Taking accountability is a lost art. Um, if excuse me, if we were going to allow parents to continue to act this way, are we complicit as well? But we just have to do our best. But understand that these things are going to happen regardless of the rules. We just have to increase the amount of exposure to the rules as we move forward. So again, I know it's a little more than 3 minutes today, but I really appreciate you guys taking a listen to this. Um, Again, like and subscribe. You'll get alerts when these things are updated. We're going to do them on a much more regular basis. Podcast will probably go more in depth on this subject because it is an important one. So it's again, Jim for the 3 Minute AD. I hope you guys have a great end of the year. Good luck in the playoffs. God bless you and all the best.